When a man feels real love, something deep inside him starts to change in a way he cannot ignore. It is like a wake-up call that touches both the parts of him he understands and the parts he rarely looks at. Love stops being just a simple feeling and becomes a mirror of who he truly is. It is no longer just about liking someone a lot. It becomes a reflection that shows the balance or the mess inside his own soul. When he meets someone who fits his inner truth, the line between what he feels inside and what he sees outside begins to disappear. It is as if a forgotten song starts playing again, reminding him of who he really is under all the noise, stress, and pride. He feels both open and whole at the same time. He is gentle but strong, reachable but steady. This kind of connection is not about two people trying to fix each other. It is about seeing a piece of himself in the other person. He feels a strange closeness, not because of memories they share, but because something about this bond matches the hidden parts of his heart. That kind of love invites him to start a journey of finding himself more honestly. He begins to notice the soft movement between his inner world and the world around him. The feelings he has are not random. They have meaning. They represent the talk happening between his conscious mind and the deeper forces that build his life. When he loves sincerely, he does not lose himself in the relationship like many do when they are driven by lust, fear of being alone, or the need to feel wanted. Instead, he finds a more honest version of himself through this bond. The connection becomes a sacred mirror that reflects his strengths and his wounds. Every warm moment, every argument, and every quiet pause becomes a lesson in being aware. He learns that real love is not about running away from his own truth, but bringing that truth into harmony with the person who matters. In true love, he is not controlled by simple attraction or blinded by a dream. His affection comes from a deeper place, an understanding that love in its purest form is an expression of truth. This truth does not demand that everything be perfect. It accepts the whole person. It embraces the fact that love can be soft and strong, healing and honest, revealing and comforting. He understands that loving someone sincerely means standing before them without pretending, allowing his heart to be seen without any tricks or emotional masks. In that openness, he finds a very rare kind of strength, because love that comes from being real cannot be broken by ego, fear, or pride. It does not depend on everything going perfectly. It is born from the connection of two souls seeing each other beyond looks and beyond the surface of daily life. As he goes deeper into this experience, he becomes aware of how much this love is changing him. His inner world feels lined up with something bigger than his old wants or habits. He stops looking for praise from his jobs or the approval of others. He begins to look for connection through honesty. The woman he loves becomes a reflection of his own growth and change. He does not love her to avoid being lonely or to fill an empty space. He loves her because her presence matches the deepest place within him that wants balance, unity, and a reason for being. In her, he sees the image of his own inner peace, the living expression of something his soul has always wanted to show. This is why, when a man feels true love, his energy gets softer, his attention gets deeper, and his behavior becomes more steady. He stops feeling restless because the hunt for outside happiness turns into a journey of inner clarity. Real love becomes a spiritual alignment, not a way to own someone. It teaches him that loving someone honestly means accepting life as it is without making things seem better or worse than they are. It draws him closer to reality and to truth, asking him to be both humble and brave. Through this love, he learns that the deepest connection he can have with someone else starts with the connection he has with himself. It becomes the balance between his inner and outer worlds, the mix between feeling and understanding, power and calm, Love, in its truest form, stops being a desire to control and becomes an invitation to wake up. When a man experiences real love, he realizes that true strength is not shown by how well he hides his feelings, but by how openly he allows himself to feel them. Being vulnerable becomes the bridge between his heart and his soul, between the person he shows the world and the person he keeps inside, in a world that often teaches men to quiet their emotions, to act like nothing bothers them. No matter what happens, genuine love gently takes away those heavy layers of protection. It encourages him to put down his shield, to let someone see the parts of him he once hid, and to trust that he will still be accepted. This process is both scary and freeing. It forces him to let go of control, stop pretending he is invincible, and face his fears of being rejected, not being good enough, or losing what he cares for. But by accepting this vulnerability, he finds a deeper kind of courage, the courage to be real. When he opens his heart, he begins to show the layers of his humanity that he once hid behind silence, logic, or pride. He lets his partner see his doubts, his worries, and the quiet pain he rarely talks about. This honesty becomes a special gift, a sign that he trusts her enough to show his true self without holding back. In those moments, his words have a sincerity that does not come from trying to look good, but from trying to connect. He admits when something scares him. He speaks openly when something hurts. He says thank you when he feels understood. There is a calm but powerful beauty in this honesty, a strength that is much bigger than being bossy or staying emotionally distant. He realizes that being vulnerable does not make him weak. It makes him human, and his humanity becomes the foundation of love that lasts. Through being open, his idea of closeness changes. He no longer sees emotional closeness as a risk, but as a safe place. The walls he once built to protect himself slowly go away, not because love makes him blind, but because it makes him brave enough to see clearly. He begins to see the beauty in being emotionally open. He listens with care instead of getting defensive. He speaks with attention instead of trying to put on a show. And he feels with awareness instead of fear. His emotional life becomes fuller, more honest, and more awake. In that openness, his partner no longer feels like a threat to his freedom, but a friend in his emotional journey. The more he allows himself to open up, the stronger the bond becomes because love grows where truth is allowed to live without fear. This change is not always easy. There are times when he wants to pull back, when old habits make him want to hide his feelings again. He feels the urge to protect himself from being uncomfortable. But each time he chooses honesty over hiding, he becomes stronger. Being emotionally open becomes a gentle move against the false ideas of being a man that once limited him. He learns that vulnerability is not giving up power. It is giving up pretending. It is the place where love becomes sacred, where two souls connect without pride standing in the way. As he accepts this depth, love stops feeling like a battle of pride or control. It becomes a space where both partners help each other heal. His openness encourages her openness, creating a connection built on truth instead of lies. He understands that real closeness comes not from being perfect, but from sharing honesty. When a man feels real love, his strongest quality is not how much he can carry alone, but how deeply he can connect while staying true to who he is. His heart becomes open but protected by the honesty of his goals. In that balance, he discovers a peacefulness only genuine love can give. When a man feels true love, his view of connection moves from owning someone to growing together. He no longer wants to own or control the woman he loves. Instead, he wants to grow alongside her. Love becomes an experience of waking up for both, not a contest or a way to fill an empty hole. It is not about holding someone tightly because he is afraid of losing them. It is about giving them the space to be exactly who they are while still choosing to stay connected. In this kind of love, his affection is not driven by being insecure or bossy, but by respect and liking who she is. He cares for her as an individual, seeing it as something special. He understands that her being independent is not a move against him, but a sign of her strength and beauty. He wants to enter her world, not limit it. His heart gets bigger as he realizes that real love does not ask to own someone. It encourages growth. When he loves with honesty, he sees the relationship as a place where both souls can get better and rise up. He does not try to change her into his idea of perfection because he has learned to love without forcing his wants on her. Every moment they share turns into a chance to understand more, to listen deeper, and to become more aware together. His love slowly moves from being attached to having understanding. He begins to notice the small things, the quiet acts, the honest talks, and the way growth sometimes needs space instead of always being close. He values balance, knowing that love grows best through harmony rather than control. Through her, he learns the importance of being patient, realizing that love must have room to breathe if it is to stay alive. Such a man does not confuse owning someone with protecting them. He does not see her freedom as something dangerous, but as a natural part of love itself. His wish is not to hold her back, but to walk beside her as an equal, allowing both of their spirits to open and grow in their own way. When she does well, he feels happy instead of scared. When she changes, he tries to understand rather than fight it. His love does not depend on her being some perfect image he made up. It grows through her honesty, through the truth of who she is. He sees that love is not a cage for another person, but a reflection of his own depth and maturity. By supporting her independence, he also respects his own truth. Real love is built on shared respect. This kind of love also changes how he sees himself. He begins to understand that real connection needs emotional maturity and an awareness of his own inner world. The more he grows from the inside, the more he can give without fear and receive without feeling bad. He learns that love is not about filling an empty spot inside, but about sharing what is already full. His affection flows easily because it is not mixed with pride or the desire to control. He finds joy in seeing her shine, knowing that her light does not make his any dimmer. Their relationship becomes a dance of two people who choose each other, not because they have to, but because they are on the same path. In this growing space, love becomes a force that lifts them higher. Both inspire each other to go past their limits, fears, and doubts. They become mirrors for each other, showing both beauty and lessons. He understands that love is not about being better than someone. It is about holding hands and walking together through the unknown parts of life. His care becomes soft but steady. His passion becomes warm but not too much. His loyalty shows itself by giving freedom, not taking it away. This is the kind of love that not only changes relationships, but changes the very person a man becomes. He learns that the point of loving someone is not to own their heart, but to grow his own. Through her, he realizes again that true love is not about holding someone in place. It is about growing, balancing, and moving forward together as two souls walking in truth. When a man feels real love, there is a quiet recognition that goes beyond how someone looks, beyond logic, and beyond time. It is as if his soul remembers something that his mind cannot put into words. When he looks into the eyes of the woman he loves, there is a moment of stillness, a deep feeling that he has met someone who shows the core of who he is. This feeling does not come from thinking or studying. It comes from an inner knowing, a gut feeling that this connection is not normal. He finds peace in her presence, a calm that says more than any words could. It is not the high of a crush or the rush of simple want, but a quiet sense of belonging, as if his heart has found a place where it no longer needs to hide. In that still moment, he feels a closeness, as if they have known each other in ways that memory cannot explain, as if their souls have met before. This feeling is not something he needs to explain or prove. It is not about looks or money or logic. It is a spiritual match he feels deep inside. He does not look for constant proof, because the connection itself feels real and certain. There is an invisible string that ties them together, a pull that brings him closer, not because he is needy, but because they fit together. He feels understood by her, even when they aren't talking. Just her being there brings order to his thoughts and a path for his life. When she speaks, her words often match feelings he has not even said yet. When she is quiet, her silence feels full instead of empty. It is as if their communication happens on a level beyond words, carried by feeling and energy. He feels seen, not for the person he pretends to be, but for who he truly is under everything. This connection wakes up a sense of deep care in him. He becomes more present, more aware, and more careful with his feelings. He does not need to chase or prove himself. Instead, he values the bond through steady work and real attention. It is not about big romantic shows, but about being consistent. How he listens, how he respects her peace, and how he shows up without being asked. Every small thing he does is a reflection of a deeper truth he carries inside. When he holds her, it is not just physical. It is a moment where he feels lined up spiritually, as if he is holding a part of his own soul, something he must respect, protect, and never take for granted. This feeling does not only bring comfort, it also challenges him. True love shows both the good and the bad, showing him not just what he loves, but also what he needs to face inside himself. Her presence wakes up parts of him that have been quiet for years. His kindness, his fears, his old hurts, and his wish to grow. Yet he does not run away because he feels that the point of this connection is to change him. Through her, he starts to understand himself more deeply. Their relationship becomes a path of finding himself, guided more by his heart than by logic. When he feels this quiet closeness, his love stops being about owning her and becomes about respect, care, and honor. He begins to see her as more than a partner. She becomes a reflection of something special, a mirror that brings out his best side. He realizes that real love is not something he just finds by accident. It is something he remembers. It feels like it was meant to be, yet he is still free. It feels old, yet new, close, yet endless. It is a bond where words are often not needed because understanding moves naturally between two souls that have finally found their place next to each other. Through this silent bond, he experiences love not as a short feeling, but as a timeless connection between spirits that have always known where they belong. When a man feels real love, the way he is built inside starts to shift. Love becomes a force that reaches deep into him, changing how he sees life, how he understands himself, and how he acts toward the world. He begins to look through new eyes. He is no longer guided only by logic or wants, but by meaning. The woman he loves wakes up a softness in him, a kindness that was once hidden, and a strength that comes from being clear and understanding rather than from pride. In her presence, he feels something special start to rise, a realization that love is not just a feeling, it is a process that changes who he is. Through love, he faces himself. The confusion inside him, the worries he once hid, and the fears he ignored come out. but instead of running, he accepts them. He starts to understand that the point of love is not just to make him feel good, but to wake up the deeper parts of his soul. With this change, he learns that love is not a deal or just a temporary thrill. It is a mirror showing both his beauty and the parts of him that are not yet finished. Every happy time and every hard time they share becomes a step toward knowing more. When they disagree, he no longer fights to win, but to truly understand. When he feels hurt, he does not shut down. He listens closely to what his feelings are trying to say. Love teaches him how to be patient, humble, and how to accept things. It softens the hard edges of his pride, reminding him that real connection does not grow by being in charge, but by letting go. He begins to value being honest over being proud, having empathy over being forceful, and being there over putting on a show. Every moment with her is a chance to practice being more real, more open, and more aware. He realizes that love is not about keeping someone forever, but about being truly there in every moment. This change does not stay only inside the relationship. His whole view of life starts to shift. Normal things slowly get more meaning. The sound of her laughing, the way the sun comes into a quiet room, the comfort of just sitting near her. He begins to see beauty where he once saw a boring routine. Love makes him more sensitive to the small details of life, teaching him that the real point of living is not in big wins, but in truly being present. The world becomes less about competing and more about connecting. He starts to see how everything is tied together, how love is not just between two people, but a force that exists in everything. This understanding makes him humble and keeps him calm and thankful. By loving completely, he also learns how to let go, not by leaving, but by accepting. He understands that love cannot be forced or bossed around. It must be cared for with trust. He lets go of the idea that love must always feel perfect, realizing that its true strength comes from growing through the messy parts. The relationship becomes a space for both souls to grow, to fall, and get back up, to hurt and heal, and to change together. He begins to see love not as something he owns, but as a path toward waking up his inner self. Every moment of love, even the hard ones, becomes a lesson leading him toward a better version of himself. Through this inner shift, his love grows from a simple feeling into a deep commitment. He becomes calmer, wiser, and more solid. He no longer runs from being open because he has realized that being open leads to the truth. His affection grows not through big dramatic acts, but through being there every day and being quietly loyal. He understands that real love is not something he just gives or gets. It is something he becomes by loving her. He becomes more human, more kind, and more awake. The man who once looked for praise from the world now finds meaning in just being real. Love has turned him inside out, taking away lies and showing who he really is. In that change, he finds that to love sincerely is to grow forever toward understanding, balance, and inner peace. When a man feels real love, he begins to understand the serious responsibility that comes with it. Love becomes more than a short spark. It becomes a choice to protect, lift up, and support the woman he loves without trying to rule over her. He feels a deep sense of duty, not because he has to, but because he respects the bond they share. This commitment gives meaning to what he does. His words are honest, his presence is comforting, and his loyalty is quiet but strong. When he loves with sincerity, he no longer lives his life carelessly. Every choice he makes considers her peace, her growth, and how she feels. He understands that real love is not about the excitement of the start, but the strength of the soul over time. It is the calm choice to stay, to show up, and to be steady in a world that is always changing. This love changes his idea of what it means to be committed. It is no longer about owning someone or just a habit. It becomes a promise he makes in his heart. He understands that love needs patience, work, and understanding. He learns to be there not just when things are happy, but when they are uncomfortable, not just when there is passion, but when there is silence. He does not leave when problems arrive because his love is not based on what is easy. It is built on a goal. He is not loyal because he is afraid of losing her. He is loyal because he respects the truth of what they have. Through this care, he becomes emotionally solid, someone she can count on. His actions match his feelings, and his being consistent says more than any words. His love becomes the kind that helps people heal instead of making them confused. It brings calm instead of a mess. When he loves for real, he also learns balance, the skill of giving without losing himself. He does not wipe out who he is for love, and he does not expect her to lose herself either. He understands that love must grow alongside who they are as individuals. He supports her dreams as much as his own, creating a place where both can do well. His love becomes a place for both to grow, not just depend on each other. He learns that strength in love is not about being in charge, but about being steady. It is the strength to stay kind when he is tempted to be angry, to listen when his pride wants to fight, to stay gentle even when the world feels mean. His love goes from being just a want to being a purpose. This honest love also changes how he sees being a man. He no longer needs to prove his worth by being bossy or having a lot of things. Instead, he finds meaning in being able to love deeply, protect for real, and act with honesty. His emotional growth becomes a sign of his inner improvement. Love becomes the path through which he